Hey guys, it's Steven, and how you guys are enjoying? Yes, every time I start with this one, I know that it's kind of getting boring, so I'm gonna change the topic or kind of change the starting my comments thing. So here we go. Don't screw up. I don't want to screw up this issue review. This is the kind of story I haven't seen since before the New 52. It doesn't have any ulterior motives. It's not trying to get you hooked into buying some long-running arc. There are no gimmicks or hype. It is planting the seeds for some company-wide crossover event. You don't really even need to be familiar with continuity to understand what is going on. It is just a well-written, self-contained story that achieves best solely on the talents of the writer and artist alone. I don't think you would even need to be a comic or Batman fan to be able to enjoy this piece of work. In fact, if you replace Batman with a random agent, the story would still function in much the same capacity. This isn't a Batman story, it is just a story that happens to have Batman in it. Perhaps that is a negative for some of you, but I will let you make that call on your own. Before you think that all I am doing is just bashing the epic stories, let me tell you that is not the case. I enjoy an epic story the same as the next person. I just think that DC had forgotten that some sense of variety can actually add more excitement to the epic arcs than if all you ever did was present them and nothing else. If you get epic stuff back to back all the time, you start to get desensitized to it, and it would not feel as mind-blowing. You need a story with a different pace thrown in from time to time in order to balance things out. That's the case. So after all, a roller coaster without the drops and inclines is just a train ride. Yeah, and I have to admit that I am doing all of the reviews from all of the great blogs and combining them and making a good review. Detective Comics 36 wraps up a two-part story by guest creative team Benjamin Percy and John Paul Leon, but based on their work here, even with a slight stumble towards the finish line, it's strong enough material that you will find yourself hoping for more comics from the duo before long. After last issue's impeccably timed, highly contagious virus released in an airport first half, it's not surprising that Detective Comics 36 almost can't compete with the near perfection of that penning chapter. But here's the thing, it's still very good. As the virus spreads and the quarantine is set up, Percy keeps the tension high. One thing that I found myself appreciating very quickly is that as the other law enforcement agencies come in and take over, and in doing so put Batman's attempts to stop what's happening at risk, he avoids the obvious path of making outsiders equal bad guys. Hazmat-suited officers aren't bad guys here. They're merely doing their job and trying to keep everyone safe. That doesn't make them any less of a roadblock though. Percy also takes full advantage of Batman's allies in the story. That's a pretty cool bunch of things. So there are many themes soon into this tale, and while some are more overt than others, if you look closely you can find a lot of layers to explore. Yes, that's it, that's the right thing, that you can get a lot of layers to explore. We have social commentaries, the way the average person views the government and its inability to view people as more than just numbers, and introspective look at the mental processes of an ex-military man, and some things that question military action and quite possibly America in general. Pretty hefty stuff for a comic, and not necessarily stuff that all peoples are going to want to analyze. Fortunately for those who want to overlook these things, you can latch onto the plot and most likely be content with nothing more. For those of you who want to look in the mirror, that option is also presented to you. John Paul Leon provides the art for both parts of the story, and to be honest, I can't envision this in any way other than in how he has presented it here. I really like that one. If this were in any kind of standard comic house style, I think it would lose quite a bit of its atmosphere and presents everything about this screams independent to me, and not just the art but the whole style and approach to this comic as well. It is kind of hard to explain, but in the way he draws, I feel like it's more about looking at the spaces and between the lines than the lines themselves defining the shapes. Some things are completely defining by shading with no distinguishable line to be seen. There isn't a lot of detail to his work, but the compositions he provides gives you a real sense of space and form. It's actually quite beautiful. He's definitely the kind of artist you need to pair with the right kind of story, and I hope another appropriate story come along because I would really like to see his work again. He's the kind of artist I could see working on a story like Batman 34. Yeah, that's it. So I had two very small criticism about the issue. I'm gonna come up with this one next. Before that, even stronger than the writing is Leon's art, which is a reminder of just what a gem he is. I have already said that something as simple as a drawing of people in an airport bar is perfectly rendered. Leon draws your attention through the gazes of the crowd to the television up above. That's the great thing. But among all of them, the storytelling style and the artwork is kind of different. The artwork is totally kind of different, I have to say, in my way, because I was getting used to of plain kind of storylines. No, not the storylines, plain kind of artworks, but this is different. Sometimes see here, it's totally plain, but it depicts and it describes really what is there needed. So that's the great thing, that's the amazing thing of this one. This is a fast-paced artwork, and in the point so minor in fact that they didn't really even contribute to any sort of point reduction, but I feel like they are worth discussing nonetheless. First, Dick Grayson's moral sensibilities have not yet been degraded by Spiral to the point that we see them here. That's the good thing, using his sexiness to manipulate women, sure, but torturing someone seems a little out of character for him. I can see two possible explanations behind this. If the story happens at kind of some indeterminable time in the future, or Benjamin Percy decided he didn't want to be constrained by the tenets of the established character. So thanks for watching. Next one is coming, Anarchy. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Hit the like button. Yes, thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you want to enjoy again and again, hit the like button and support me. Thanks for subscribing.